Hello everyone, this is Scarzig and welcome back to another episode of Duelyst. Today I'll be starting a new series. This is a fresh account. I went ahead and leveled up all the factions in practice mode, did all of the solo puzzles for gold, and we are going to do a nice free-to-play run. Hopefully I can show you guys a little something about working on a budget. I tried to replace a couple of my quests today to see if I could get something for Lionar, which is what was the first class I wanted to show off to you guys. We didn't get the quest to line up for it, but that's still what I want to go with. I'm still in bronze, I'm pretty sure, on this account. I had to play a couple ladder matches to unlock the rest of the puzzles to do to get as much starting gold as possible. But we're just going to hop right into some Lionar gameplay. This deck has all basic cards. I think doing the puzzles, you get a couple achievements and whatnot. You get a free legendary and a free epic, but nothing important came out of those. And there's some really, really strong common cards that we can actually craft for the Lionar faction, and some neutrals as well, such as Dancing Blades, which I have not done yet. So this is made of straight basic cards, and I just wanted to jump right in and show you guys what we have. It's not really the kind of deck that I need to show off the deck list, really, because at such a low level, even though I took the time to make an individual deck for each faction, they pretty much all share the same cards with just minor variations. And hopefully, once we get some more cards crafted, some more packs opened, I'll be able to customize these decks a little bit more, show you guys what the most optimal first come, how should I say this? Your highest priority crafting choices should be. Wow, so my opponent here is opening up with a really big swarm hand, and this is really cool because if I move forward with my general, then I have to attack the Swamp Entangler, and then I'll be stuck in place for another turn. The other thing, too, is that the Windblade Adept would still be able to come forward and kill the Pyromancer, which is actually really good for me. So what I'm going to do here is, since he's flooded the board, I actually have the Tempest, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then this is really nice because I get to still take out the Swamp Entangler. I don't take any damage from that because it doesn't have any attack points. We still get to move the Windbladed deck forward and end our turn. What I could have done, I think, well, no, what I would have liked to do is maybe summon the Healing Mystic as well and ramp. And I think he has 1 damage. I think we'll just get this 4 damage in while we can. I think optimally I should have just summoned the Healing Mystic and then Tempest, and then that way I would deny this mana to him, and then I'd at least have another 2/1 on the board. I could have also moved the Windblade Adept onto the mana tile and just summon the Healing Mystic to heal it, which probably would have been the strongest play now that I'm thinking about it, but I got a bit greedy for that damage. My opponent's playing a lot of small minions here, which is kind of nice to flood the board with. It's just that they don't usually have enough impact. So I think my opponent's actually going to be running out of cards here pretty soon. The Fire Spitter is actually a bit scary. So I do want to take that out with the Saber Spine Tiger this turn. Again, I'm not really too worried about the Planar Scout. So we'll just take care of that ranged unit. One of the things about this game is you want to, try to control your opponent's board. Not so much these small minions, but ranged minions, this low on the ladder especially, are really troublesome because a lot of the cards that you unlock through packs and whatnot are actually removals and answers to these ranged threats. Ooh, so that's really cool. I took the time to come up here and take care of this ranged unit, but he's actually used the Planar Scout to good advantage here to develop another ranged unit and a buff. So what I think I'm going to be forced to do here is use the Martyrdom, which is really unfortunate. The other aspect of this is that I can take out this ranged unit, but then we might have the Planar Scout still developing other ranged units in the corner. But you can see that my opponent's been playing so many cards that he just is going to be running out of steam here pretty soon. So I think even though healing him for 5 seems pretty bad, we are just going to keep on keeping on. Okay. So that's me pretty good. I do have the Primus Fist, excuse me, the Primus Shield Master, and the Hailstone Golem coming up next. And this is a really solid threat. Hailstone Golem is probably the best vanilla 4-drop besides Primus Shield Master, especially in the basic card slot. So definitely include some of those if you're playing Lionar, especially because it has really good synergy with Divine Bond and with Roar, because it's going to stick around most likely with that 6 HP. A more aggressive option for the 4-mana slot when you're making a budget deck is Young Flamewing. I don't think I have any in this deck, or maybe I included 2 copies, but like I said, because of the minor variations and whatnot, I might have them or not. But my opponent does have some pretty interesting minions here. He's shown me the Sworn Avenger and the Sapphire Seer, which are some pretty cool cards that you can get out of packs if you take the time to open them. And I think, unfortunately here, I might want to make the trade into the Sapphire Seer. Because Retruvian does have a lot of buff cards, I don't want this Force Field minion to spiral out of control on me. So I think we'll just use our Healing Mystic to eat up the Force Field. And then we'll summon the Primus Shield Master. Here. And then we also have enough mana to develop the Veil Hunter, which is really nice. It's a 2 mana, 1/2 ranged unit. And do I want to keep the Hailstone Golem? You know what? I think we will. I think I would have liked to see, perfect, a Divine Bond. So this is really good for us. There is a chance that my opponent's last card could have been Entropic Decay, which is a Vitruvian spell. You pay 4 mana and you can destroy an enemy minion that is next to your general. And another ranged unit being developed here, but again, my opponent has no cards in hand. Developing such small minions early really cost him because I had the Tempest, which is a really good card to play in Lionar in a basic deck like this, because a lot of the troublesome ranged units only have 2 HP, so you can clear those out. And another thing about Tempest is because you don't have access to Holy Immolation, you still get some of that face damage that Lionar likes to see. So what can I do here? I think I can actually Divine Bond the Veil Hunter, which would be really silly. But because of the Fire Spitter, that would be really tragic. So I think I'll just use the Veil Hunter to snipe off this Planar Scout, kill this Iron Dervish, and 4, 5, 6, 7, perfect. We'll summon the Hailstone Golem, get the full surround with the Healing Mystic to heal our Primus Fist, and then we're going to cast Roar on him. So that way he gets buffed up to a 5/4, and because of that heal, he'll be able to survive and stick around for another turn. At this point, because of the board state, I really don't need this Divine Bond, so I'll just replace it and see what we can get. Even if my opponent takes out the Primus Shield Master with his Fire Spitter, he's still trapped here in the corner because of the way I've positioned my minions, and the Veil Hunter will be able to pick at him as well. So this is a really dominant board state for us. Again, our opponent wasted a lot of early tempo just developing small minions. Planar Scout used to be really OP back in the day. Using its airdrop to deny mana tiles to your opponent would actually let you snowball the game really hard. But nowadays it's usually not worth it, unless you're doing something cheeky like he did, where maybe you drop it near a corner away from the fight so you can get your ranged units developed, but usually that's a bit too slow. Good play by my opponent here to keep this locked down. I can actually cast Roar on the Hailstone Golem so that it can one-shot this Primus Shield Master. So that's another reason Hailstone Golem is really good. Very solid stat line, especially in Lionar with Roar. And then that allows my General to come in here and attack. And let's see if I can get a buff. Nope, Ephemeral Shroud. That's too bad. So he's 1 HP off, and I actually have the reach here to dispel his ranged minion, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just because that 3 HP would allow him to take out the Hailstone Golem, but because I've managed to develop, again, such a strong board, I'm just going to close this out next turn. Unless he has another really big provoke, no. The other thing too, when you're playing basic budget decks like this, you're lacking card draw, so you do want to play very value-focused decks. And the planar scouts and everything that he was doing just weren't getting enough value. And we're pretending to be a poor player, so we aren't going to tip. So that's a bit greedy. But I think we can play another match here with Lionar. Or I should probably mix it up a bit. I mean, since the quests that I had rolled today don't really line up with Lionar, maybe we'll switch over to Vitruvian. Let's do budget Vitruvian. We just played against Vitruvian. Let's show off the variant that I have built. So this will be a nice little split for budget Vitruvian. And again, this is all basic cards. You're going to see a lot of the same minions and whatnot that we had in the Lionar deck, with some, you know, concessions for Vitruvian spells and the Vitruvian minions. Pyromancer, I believe, is very, very strong. Fortunately, we had the Tempest to take out my opponents. And this is pretty cool here. I can go double 2-drop with the Obelisk and the Healing Mystic. And then I think that'll just allow me to replace these two and get a bit more variety in my hand. Dragonlark's pretty interesting, and Primus Shieldmaster, so this is a pretty well-rounded hand. I would have liked to see maybe a spell or two, but this is a pretty good spread of minions. Ooh, my opponent doesn't play anything turn 1. That's really unfortunate. When you're building a deck, I believe the optimal number of 2-drops is at least 9. If you're playing it a really aggressive deck, you could probably go all the way up to 12. But I believe the median number is at least 9. And it gives you, I think it's like, if you hard mulligan, it gives you like at least a 70 or 80% chance of getting at least 1 2-drop in your opening hand to play. So we're going to take advantage of this by trying to save the Healing Mystic's opening gambit by just developing the Obelisk, very central for us, and we'll develop the Dragonlark. What's nice about Dragonlark, even though it's really fragile, you can still contest mana with it, even if you play it in a really defensive spot. If I'd played it up here, well, it doesn't matter where I play it, it's still in reach of, say, a Saberspine Tiger, but because Dragonlark is only a 1-mana 2/1, your opponent isn't going to want to waste resources on it. Didn't Dragonlark used to cost 2 mana? For some reason. So, a little bit inefficient there. I floated 1 mana, but I denied that center mana to him. Get to keep that for myself. I could have gone the greedy route, went Ethereal Obelisk up here above the mana, and then played the Dragonlark. But when you're against Lionar, you have to kind of respect that on their second turn, they can still walk 2 forward and drop the Silverguard Knight on you at 3 mana. That's a really strong 3 mana play for them. Ooh, so we got the True Strike on the Dragonlark. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. Wow. That's really unfortunate that he hasn't played anything in these 2 turns. Since he doesn't have any minions out that I want to provoke, I think that I am honestly just going to do this. We'll play the Dragonlark here to deny mana, and then we'll play the Hailstone Golem here to prevent him from walking up to possibly get this mana. Then we'll just have the Dervish attack. And again, since I had the choice of a 4-mana play, I can just body block him instead of locking him down. There's nothing dangerous I'm trying to keep off of my face. So I just played the more offensive unit in the Hailstone Golem. Again, I'm really hoping to start seeing a few of my buff cards here. Martyrdom. That's a pretty solid play because I'm still at full health. So good play by him. And he's actually going to use the True Strike here, which I think it would have been better for him to save that and just hit the Dragonlark. Oh, I see. He wants to use his general attack to start wailing on this obelisk. Never mind. Hmm. That's really unfortunate. The dervish can just come down here and start attacking. If he had hit the obelisk, I would have played the healing mystic to just top it off. I can go up to 6. Yeah, so I guess what we'll do is play the healing mystic anyway. Just heal ourselves. Get the Primus Shield Master developed. And then my general and the dervish combined can take out his Sunstone Bracer. So I'll have a slightly harder time dealing with the Primus Shield Master. And this is pretty interesting. He's managed to not play anything in the opening turns here, and since I've only had Dragon Larks, really, I haven't put out too much pressure, truthfully. He had the Martyrdom, which is a really nice answer to the Hailstone Golem. So I'm running out of cards, so now we get to see, how things look from the other side. Elysian Brawler, he could cast Roar on this as well for 1 mana, which I suggest you do. If you're a newer player, you probably aren't used to using the Bloodborne spells quite yet, but you have to remember to keep those as part of your game plan. So Elysian Brawler has... Now, here's the thing. I can use the Repulsor Beast to just move this over here in the corner, maybe, where it won't be able to do much, but because it has Celerity, it'll be back in the fight before, I really have a chance to do anything else. So I think I'm just going to, I'll use the Dervish. This is a free 2 damage, so I've been getting a lot of value out of that. And we'll take this 4 damage to face. We want to clear Elysian Brawler because it is actually really dangerous if you let it live. Because it has Celerity, it's going to be double dipping on a lot of Lionar's buffs. Had he buffed it with Roar, I probably would have traded the Healing Mystic instead of going taking that damage to face with my General. Feels kind of greedy here to develop the Saber Spine Tiger. So I think I'll just hold on to it. Because my curve tops out at, I think, 5 mana anyway. There's really no big combos that's going to prevent me from doing that. So, yeah. So saving that 3 damage is pretty good. The Bone Reaper. No, don't attack! So that's 3 damage he didn't need to take because the Bone Reaper would have killed the Primus Shield Master at the end of the turn. That's really unfortunate. Were he still at 9? Let me see, that would have been 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I still would have had lethal, but this just makes it a bit easier for me because I can, because I saved the Repulsor Beast. I knew that Lionar would probably have another Provoke unit, so I can move that. Dervish didn't spawn in a good spot. But even so, we saved the Saber Spine Tiger. We held on to that, so. Really fortunate for us, we made the correct call there to hold on to the Repulsor Beast, hold on to the Saber Spine Tiger. But pretty interesting to see the Bone Reaper. Even at these lower ranks, players have already opened a few packs, so they're going to be throwing some curveballs at you. You can't expect everything, especially because in the higher reaches of the ladder, you aren't going to be seeing a lot of these cards that are obviously going to be substituted for other, perhaps more value-oriented or more efficient, I should say, variations. So Bone Reaper, a card that you don't normally see, we can just treat it as a generally beefy Provoke unit. It could have just as easily been an Ironcliff Guardian there. The only difference being is that the Ironcliff Guardian wouldn't have taken out the Healing Mystic. Pardon me. So again, low on the ladder here. A lot of cards also don't really have a lot of the staples you normally play around. Lionar having Holy Immolation, Magmar having Mecantor War Beast. A lot of those cards you get very lucky if you open them, but you generally have to craft them yourself. So pretty interesting here. I can actually just move forward into Ephemeral Warmaster onto the tile, and then I can use that 1 mana to summon the Dragon Lark. And I think that that's what I'm going to do. and I'll go ahead and replace the rock pulverizers since I'll have the Primus Shield Master to follow up with instead. So this is really interesting for us too. Had I kept a rock pulverizer, I'm wondering if going rock pulverizer and then Veil Hunter would have been a better play. Once again, we have an opponent who is not developing anything early. And I think we'll hold on to the Veil Hunter. All of these decks, all of these basic decks that I have put together for the factions are all very minion focused, of course. A lot of basic cards for the factions themselves are just very vanilla spells, not really even the staples that you see a lot of. Banar does get Aspect of the Fox, but they still have to craft Mark of Solitude and whatnot. Pardon me. So, let's see. Skywing does have flying. If I move the Dragonlark over here, I can ramp. Yeah, so we'll move the Dragonlark here to get the mana. We can play the Saberspine Tiger to take out the Skywing. Then we can play the Veil Hunter over here. Kill the Planar Scout with our General, and the Ephemeral War Master is still alive and kicking. And what's really nice about Veil Hunter in this matchup is because it's a 1-2, it'll be able to trade into 2 Heartseekers, hopefully. Ooh, Ghost Lightning. Not bad. So that only kills the Dragonlark and just weakens my other units. So not too shabby. Now Veil Hunter will only be able to kill 1 Heartseeker. Dang, he's going all in. Alright, that's fine. And he went face, so that takes 1 charge off of the artifact, which is really good for us. Ooh, I can go up to 5. Yeah. I think what we're going to do is go Snowpiercer, and I'll use Healing Mystic on myself. And yeah, we'll just bottle him up here. And so now I've broken her Blood Rage Mask, so she's going to have a harder time pinging off my artifact, and I was able to hit her back for much higher damage than she was just able to do to me. My opponent now, we have the same hand size, but because I have minions on board, I'm in a slightly stronger position. Oh no. This would have been a really excellent play, actually, but he played the Bloodshard Golem here on this row. So Warbird is going to be able to weaken that, and the Veil Hunter can take it out. So then I can just play the Primus Shield Master, and then hit him again. I could have probably replaced the Rock Pulverizer there, but I wanted to have another Provoke in my hand in case I have to create some distance between something. Rock Pulverizer is in this deck simply for the ability to lock my opponent down while I wail on them with Snowpiercers. So, really unfortunate. A lot of the games I just played, my opponents were not developing a lot of things on their early turns. I think that just comes down to deck building. And I knew I said I wouldn't really need to go over the decks, but I think before we close out here, let's just kind of go over again. This shell is pretty much the same what I've been running in every deck. 3 Healing Mystics, 2 Ephemeral Shrouds, 2 Rock Pulverizers, 2 Veil Hunters, 3 of whatever your faction starting 2-drop they give you is, 2 Repulsor Beast, 3 Saberspine Tigers, 3 Hailstone Golems, 3 Primus Shield Masters, then, some combination of Bright Moss Golem, Young Flamewing, Necroseer is a really good basic card where it has decent stats and you draw a card when it dies. And again, at early levels like this, you aren't going to have a lot of card draw. So I think that this has gone on long enough. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope that all of you people who are working on a budget maybe learned a thing or two about playing for value and some really solid tips for working with the basic cards. So I will see you next time, and you have a good one.